Okay, so we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's Canto 7. Chapter 9. Prahlāda pacifies Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva with prayers. And we are discussing text 9, text 11. नैवात्मना प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनाद विदुषा करुणो वृणीते यद्यजनो भगवते विदधीतमानम् तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्री नैवात्मना प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनाद विदुषा करुणो वृणीते यद्यजनो भगवते विदधीतमानम् तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्री नैवात्मना प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनाद विदुषा करुणो वृणीते यद्यजनो भगवते विदधीतमानम् तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्री. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in Himself. Therefore, when something is offered to Him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. Purpose. In Bhakti Yoga, it is recommended that a devotee follow 9 principles. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. The service of glorifying the Lord by hearing, chanting and so on is not of course meant for the benefit of the Lord. This devotional service is recommended for the benefit of the devotee. The Lord is always glorious, whether the devotee glorifies Him or not. But if the devotee engages in glorifying the Lord, the devotee himself automatically becomes glorious. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. By glorifying the Lord constantly, the living entity becomes purified in the core of his heart. And thus he can understand that he so that he may become material clutches. Thus the blazing fire of material existence is immediately vanquished. Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. A foolish person is amazed that Krishna orders Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all varieties of religious activities and just surrender unto me. Some foolish scholars even say that this is too much of a demand, but this demand is not for the benefit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, it is for the benefit of the human society. If human beings individually and collectively surrender everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness, all of human society will benefit. One who does not dedicate everything to the Supreme Lord is described in this verse as Avidushaha, a rascal. In Bhagavad Gita 7:15, the Lord himself speaks. दुष्कृतिनो मूढ़ः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधम माया अपहृत ज्ञान आसुरीं भावमाश्रितः. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, worst among the mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Because of ignorance and misfortune, the atheists and the Naradhamas, the lowest of the men, do not surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is full in himself, he appears in different yugas to demand the surrender of the conditioned souls so that they will benefit by becoming free from the material clutches. In conclusion, the more we engage in Krishna consciousness and render service unto the Lord, the more we benefit. Krishna does not need service from any of us. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. Srila Prahlāda Maharaj, in his most celebrated prayers, is explaining about the consciousness which is required to be steadfast in devotional service. Some of the prime, most necessary, essential ingredients of devotional service. Srila Prahlāda Maharaj is explaining in the purport here, or in these prayers here. Whereas in the first place, we see in his first prayers, Prahlāda Maharaj is talking about humility. Although Prahlāda Maharaj is being favored by the Supreme Lord, still Prahlāda Maharaj's heart is having all appreciation and respect for all the Vaishnavas around, all the Devatas, all the demigods. Although it is evident that the Lord was not pleased with any of their attempts, but the Lord was very much pleased with Prahlada's attempts. So he's explaining how the heart should be humble, to offer all respect to others, to appreciate all others, and rather focus on one's own faults, not one's own glories. And therefore Prahlāda Maharaj is making the point that I belong to the family of demons, the demoniac blood which is running in my veins. I am so fallen. And then Prahlāda Maharaj goes on to explain the essence of bhakti is in Sharanagati. In the second and third prayers, Prahlāda Maharaj is talking the externals are only beneficial as long as they lead to the internal state of submission or Sharanagati. And if that is not there, the externals are not of much value. So Prahlāda Maharaj is saying that just by external wealth, physical strength, intelligence, dexterity, skills, one cannot please Krishna. Even by tapasya, and by renunciation, one cannot please Krishna. One can only please Krishna by that humble state of love in the heart to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Only in that state one can please the Supreme Lord. Just like Maharaj Gajendra, he did not perform any austerities, he did not perform any tapasya. He was not a scholar, he was not a pandit. But genuinely and desperately, he was taking shelter of the Supreme Lord by offering everything what he had to the Supreme Lord. Gajendra Maharaj was blessed in that way. So there should be, so there needs to be that loving devotion, and that loving devotion manifests in the form of Sharanagati. That a devotee does not consider anything in this world other than the Supreme Lord as valuable. And therefore, being separate from the Supreme Lord, a devotee cannot tolerate in a moment. Govinda virahena mein. They consider a moment to be like 12 years or more if one is separated from Krishna. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena mein. Then now Srila Prahlāda is talking about the disposition of humility. He is talking about the state of the humble heart which wants to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, Sharanagati. Now in the fourth verse, in his fourth prayer, this is the fourth prayer today, what we are reading. So Prahlāda is saying that when we offer service to the Supreme Lord, when we surrender to the Supreme Lord, it's not for the Lord's benefit. The Lord does not need any help from us. The Lord is fully satisfied. But when we get the opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord and we take it up, we get glorified. We get purified, but we get glorified also. We become glorious just by serving the Supreme Lord. It stands to our benefit. It stands to our benefit. And therefore, Prahlāda Maharaj is explaining the consciousness that a devotee is serving the Supreme Lord. A sincere devotee does not feel that, okay, I am offering service to the Supreme Lord, I am doing a great favor to the Lord. Rather, a devotee is feeling very grateful that he is given this opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. Why? Because in the spiritual world, first of all, no service is required. Krishna is most powerful, and Krishna is Atmanam. So Krishna doesn't need anyone's service. Just by his desire, everything, Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriya, just by the desire of the Supreme Lord, everything is manifest. Then what service is required? The Lord desires it is manifest. Then what service is remaining? Nothing. The residents of the spiritual world are hankering for service because only by that service they are able to express their love for Krishna. So rather they are ready to pay any price for service. In the material world, people think that, okay, if I do some service to you, you should pay me. The spiritual consciousness is what? The devotee is ready to pay to be able to get the opportunity to do some service to Krishna and the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis. This is spiritual consciousness. So the opportunity to serve is a great opportunity because that is the only way by which we can connect to Krishna. That is the only way by which auspiciousness is conducted in our lives. That's the only way in which we get glorified. By agreeing to serve Krishna. By agreeing to serve Krishna. So we see in Krishna consciousness, every moment is very valuable. It's very rare, it's very valuable. Why? Because it is phenomenal. It can change the direction of one's life. Any small endeavor of service in Krishna consciousness also glorifies the living entity. One time we were hearing from Srila Prabhupada disciples, some of them were pointing out They were telling that, okay, the devotees in ISKCON presently in the second generation, who are these devotees? The second generation. See, the first generation is proper disciples, direct disciples. The second generation is disciples of proper disciples. So we were hearing from proper disciple that who are these devotees who are in the second generation? Then one very beautiful point we were hearing was that you see the devotees in ISKCON, the second generation or disciples of proper disciples, they are basically those personalities or those candidates who came across Srila Prabhupada. And by coming across Srila Prabhupada in the previous life, they developed some little bit transient appreciation for Prabhupada. Like Prabhupada was traveling in a flight, so probably the air hostess. Some of them were very eager to serve Prabhupada. So they did a little bit service or the little bit appreciation of Prabhupada's activities, and they were given a chance to practice full-fledged devotional service by being a second generation grandson of Srila Prabhupada. What a fortune, no? So you see, previous life, little bit service. Say an air hostess was able to offer some fruit or maybe some water to Srila Prabhupada. That itself was good enough to ensure a devotee birth next life. Amazing. What a glory. So even a little bit service comes out or stands out to be phenomenal in the destiny of a devotee's lifestyle. A little bit devotional service. Now the Lord Krishna says a little bit endeavor in this path of bhakti can save one from the greatest type of danger and fear. The greatest fear of gliding down to the lower species of life. One will be saved from that just by offering a little service to Krishna. So any connection with Krishna, any opportunity to serve Krishna is very glorious because it brings glory to one's dark life. So in that regard, a devotee considers the opportunity to connect to Krishna, to serve Krishna and to praise Krishna as one of the greatest fortunes. Srila Bilvamangal Thakur, in his beautiful song, Charagrashtikam it is called as. Chorashtikam or Charagrashtikam. Srila Bilvamangal Thakur is writing that, oh Lord, my heart is like a very deep, dark jail cell. Which dark, which is very deep, dark well. But somehow by great fortune, you have come in my heart. And because you have come, all the darkness is removed. Now, my Lord, I will never let you go out. He's saying, I will keep you captive, O Lord, in my heart, and you cannot escape. Because my ropes are very strong and you cannot break those ropes. Why? Because these ropes are ropes of love. These ropes are ropes of love, and my Lord, you won't be able to break it with all your strength. So you will remain captive eternally in the prison of my heart. So this is the devotee's attitude. Just a little bit practice of devotional service can be so empowering and transformative. What to say of when one is wholeheartedly wanting to practice Krishna consciousness, when one wholeheartedly wants to surrender to Krishna. So even a little bit service goes to one's very great credit when it comes to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is an all auspicious process. The devotee becomes glorified. So one time Srila Prabhupada was asked, At Swamiji, different spiritual leaders, they perform different kinds of magic. What is your magic? You asked Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, my magic is I have converted or transformed hippies into happies. That is my magic. So by giving Krishna consciousness, the hippies can become happies. Prabhupada said, this is my magic. So that is the point, that simply by practice of devotional service, what seva, that doesn't matter, but simply that practice of coming together and trying to serve and glorify Krishna and hear about Krishna, that itself pleases Krishna so much. So, so pleasing Krishna is not difficult. Krishna is available. And in any situation, one can offer oneself to Krishna. And that offering will never go in vain. See, Maharaj Gajendra was in great pain. At the moment Maharaj Gajendra remembered that probably I can take shelter of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Having a very hazy idea, Maharaj Gajendra still. He was on the point of death, on the verge of death, he was calling out for Krishna. And he was calling out for Lord Vishnu. Sure enough, Lord Vishnu came. And Lord Vishnu delivered Gajendra Maharaj not only from the crocodile, but from the cycle of birth and death. So here, Gajendra Maharaj is praying to the Supreme Lord also. He is saying that, oh Lord, Gajendra Maharaj is praying. He's saying that, oh Lord, don't just remove the crocodile. Take me out of this entire material existence once and for all. So Prabhupada explains in this purport here, and in Gajendra Maharaj's section, that Gajendra Maharaj could remember the shlokas he learned in his previous life. In that moment of utter desperation and helplessness. So therefore, Prabhupada says in that purport that okay, therefore we should practice memorizing the spiritual shlokas, because who knows which predicament we will face in the next life. But Krishna consciousness will always come to help and avail. So some few verses memorized in his previous life came to his greatest rescue in the next life when he was just about to be annihilated. So this is how we can understand even a slight practice of Krishna consciousness. Even a slight practice of Krishna consciousness is rewarded by the Supreme Lord so much. What to say of continuous practice? What to say of fervent practice? So therefore, the Krishna consciousness activities are a great blessing, and one stands to gain a lot. Even a small service is recognized by Krishna. Krishna doesn't forget even a small service. So it is explained when Lord Ramachandra was in Kishkinda Kshetra, and Lord Ramachandra was proposing to have a truce, to have an agreement, to have a comradeship with Sugriva. Sugriva was initially not having faith, he wanted to test. And Lord Ramachandra engaged 7 trees in the test. So basically, to prove that he has power and he has capacity, Lord Ramachandra took a celebrated arrow and shot. So this arrow, the celebrated arrow, it did. So it actually made a hole in all the 7 trees, and then went up till Patana and came back. It did a big circle, came back in Lord Ramachandra's quiver. So when Sugriva saw that, he understood. Yes, he's a great personality. We can. So now you see so I heard the story from Radhanand Maharaj. Radhanand Maharaj was telling that okay, to cut a short story long. These 7 trees, they help Lord Chaitanya in this way. Lord Chaitanya remembers them. Oh, so they help Lord Ramachandra in that way. And when the Lord came as in the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord was remembering the 7 trees. The Lord went to the same place. And actually, these 7 trees, the Lord embraced them. And the Lord embraced them, He sent them back home back to Godhead by embracing them. So Raman Maharaj was explaining about this point that Krishna remembers even a small service. And Krishna will not make one forget. Even if the devotee happens to commit mistake. Like say Muchukunda Maharaj fought for the demigods. Krishna Lila it comes. Muchukunda Maharaj fought for the demigods so valiantly. He fought for the demigods. At the end of it, demigods very pleased. So they asked him benediction, what benediction you want? Muchukunda Maharaj very tired. He said the benediction I want is I want to go to sleep. You just give me the benediction that I can go to sleep. And anybody who disturbs me, my sleep, and wakes me up, he should be destroyed. So you see, he was really tired. He was really tired. But the demigod, they gave him the benediction. The demigod gave him the benediction. Now Muchukunda Maharaj was sleeping. So apparently, Muchukunda Maharaj made a mistake. He could have asked for Krishna Prem, he could have asked for Vaishnava Seva. But he asked for sleeping. So he apparently committed a mistake. But Krishna, but Krishna is so loving. He made up for that mistake also. Krishna didn't took mind it. So what happened? That very desire of Muchukunda Maharaj to sleep, Krishna thought, okay, let me engage that also in service, in my service. So Krishna arranged a situation. So Krishna engaged that mistake because Krishna actually diverted Kalevan to enter that gufa. Muchukunda Maharaj sleeping. This Kalevan got up and immediately was destroyed because that was the benediction. After that, Krishna appeared in front of Muchukunda Maharaj and gave him a lot of blessings. There are, Bhagavatam, it is mentioned 10th canto, very beautiful. So you see, apparently Maharaj Muchukunda committed a mistake. He asked for a wrong thing. But Krishna converted that mistake into a great benediction. Why? Because Muchukunda used that mistake also in his service and benedicted and blessed profusely. The Maharaj Muchukunda. So even though a devotee may commit mistakes, still Krishna, converts or transforms that mistake into something very auspicious. This is the nature of the Supreme Lord. And so it is such a great fortune. It is such a great fortune to be in such strong association and to be able to get an opportunity to serve Krishna. It is very rare, and if we take the opportunity, we stand to benefit. I don't know. So let's stop here for today. Do we have any questions? Hare Krishna. Yeah. Characteristic of pure devotee is that pure devotee's only business is to serve and glorify Krishna. Such a pure devotee can never be shaken up or disturbed from his service to Krishna. This very feature, this very feature manifests in various qualities in their lives. So specifically, Srila Rupa Goswami explains 8 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. 8 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. So one of the qualities mentioned there is pure devotee is Ashavadi always. Is always hopeful, is hope against hope that Krishna's mercy will come. So this devotee is ready to wait life after life, millions of lives for the Krishna's mercy. And the quality which is mentioned is Avyartha Kalatma. That a pure devotee never wastes even a minute. Is always Krishna conscious. How much Krishna consciousness? Not even a minute spared. So that's Avyartha Kalatma. The next one is Namagane Sadaruchi. And a pure devotee, he always likes to sing of the glories of the Lord. And he's very happy singing the glories of the Supreme. He's very ecstatic singing the glories of the Supreme. He's very humble. A pure devotee is very humble. Yeah, he sees everyone else is greater than himself. That's a pure devotee. So like this, there are 8 total qualities which I mentioned. I could recall and recount 4 or 5 of them. There are 8 mentioned. Nectar of devotion. Nectar of devotion. Srila Prabhupada explains that. So these are some characteristics. Pure devotee is rock steady also in his determination and Krishna consciousness. Unshakable determination. So it's a great fortune. Yeah. Okay. So let's stop here for today. Grantharachi Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol.